Hello, I am Jonas. In this micro-learning video from VHDLwhiz.com, I'm going to show you how you can display delta cycles and time events in the ModelSim waveform. I have a simple test bench here that we are going to use in this video. It has 4 signals, count A, B, C1 and C2, and they are all integer signals. Count A has the initial value 0, and it's being controlled by this process, which increments count A every 10 nanoseconds. So this process is going to count from 0 and upwards on count A when we start the simulation. And below there are 3 concurrent statements. The first line is going to set count B to become equal to count A. So whenever count A changes, count B will change, and whenever count B changes, count C1 and C2 are going to change. And that's all that happens in this test bench, and we're going to run it now in ModelSim. I have loaded it here, so I'm going to type run 100 nanoseconds. We're going to have a look in the waveform. We can see it's counting on all signals because all signals change in the same time step. That's how signals work in VHDL. If I place my cursor on one of the transitions and press the C key on my keyboard to zoom in on this transition, to zoom in on the cursor, I can zoom in all the way and we don't see any transitions in between. They're all happening in the same time because that's how signals work in VHDL. And that's all good, but sometimes you want to see the relationships between the signals, between the processes, because we know that count A changes and this causes count B to change, and that in turn causes count C1 and C2 to change. But we can't see this in the waveform because it happens in the same time. Here is the timeline and it happens in the same simulation time. But we can instruct ModelSim to show the delta cycles by using this button. And we're going to press this expand deltas mode, expanded time deltas mode, like this. And then we have some buttons here. I can collapse time while we are still in time deltas mode, and I can press expand all time. Then all of the delta cycles will be shown, or I can collapse it again and just press expand time at active cursor. And this is the one I use the most because then I can expand it around one spot so I can see what's going on there. And we can see now that count A changes first. So here's the start of this sequence. So first count A changes at delta cycle number 1. These are delta cycles. It says +1 is +1 delta cycle within the 20,000 picosecond simulation time. And then at the next delta cycle number 2, count B changes, and at number 3, count C1 and C2 change simultaneously. So that allows us to see the transitions, but there's also another mode in ModelSim which you can use, expanded time events mode. And this button, besides the deltas mode, is expanded time events mode. And if we press this one, it expands even more. And what happens now is that these 2 signals, C1 and C2, which are changed within the same delta cycle, are now on different lines because it expands all of the transitions into different lines. And I think this is less useful than the delta cycle mode, because if we go to the code now and rearrange these signals so that the assignment to C1 is below C2, it's still in the same delta cycle because in VHDL it doesn't matter the ordering of the signal assignments as long as they are on the same scope, in the same level. But if we save this now and restart the simulation, so notice that C2 actually here is changing before C1, this pattern. And if I restart now after recompiling and press restart and run 100 nanoseconds, and now go and take a look at the same spot or zoom in, we can see that now C1 is changing before C2, and we haven't changed anything logically in our code at all. And that's why I think this mode, expanded time events mode, is less useful than expanded time deltas mode, because this is what shows the delta cycles that are governed by the VHDL language, how the VHDL language works. That was all for this video. I recommend you use this expanded time deltas mode when examining delta cycles in the ModelSim waveform. And if you want to learn more about delta cycles, if you want to learn more about how delta cycles work, I recommend my blog post, Delta Cycles Explained, which you can find a link below this video. And in this blog post, I go through delta cycles, how they work in the simulator at a very detailed level. And if you want to know more, go to the video description and click the link which will take you to that blog post. That was all for this micro learning video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section below the video. And until next time, keep coding.